Hello, it's Jeremy from Around the Bend Adventures. Today we're going to talk about the 40K, so it's a big one, uh, review, kind of update of my Ram Power Wagon 2021 that I've been using for overlanding, kind of lived out of it for work. I've also truck cap camped, whole deal. So we're just kind of go over a review. I have a whole long string of these, so go ahead and please check all those out so you can kind of see my progress on the review and whatever. So we'll kind of start with, please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff: truck camping, hunting, fishing, outdoor adventures, off-roading, and reviews of my Power Wagon and other stuff. All right, to start with, just want to talk a little bit about what I have here. So I have a 2021 Ram Power Wagon that I ordered from the dealership. I was able to get it in before all the craziness with parts and all that stuff. So this is the 2021 Ram Power Wagon with the Power Wagon 1 package, which isn't the high-end package. It's kind of the middle ground, which is plenty for me. I don't need a lot of I didn't want a lot of the other features. I did have to, I ordered it in the two-tone for the olive green, and also have an ARE cap on it, which we'll talk about there. Otherwise, the truck is completely stock, and that was my intention when I purchased this. I didn't want to have to buy a truck and then immediately start building it out to do what I want to do. So I have done no real mechanical alterations to this truck other than oil changes and scratches and stuff from driving it in the woods. All right, let's talk a little bit about the good and the bads. So I've had this truck for it's 40,600 and change miles. So I've had a good amount of time to drive on it. I've done a road trip to Colorado. There's a series on that. So I drove it a good bit on the highway all around the East Coast. So I live in northern Vermont, and as well as I've off-roaded it on a lot of our class 4 roads here, and the roads is definitely a in parentheses, I've used it during deer season to live out of. I fly fished in the back of it. I have a feeling I got a pretty good feel for the truck. So let's go with the things I like. I like the size of the truck. I wanted a full-size truck. It's perfect for what I do. The crew cab's great, so I can keep the dogs in the back and whatnot. It's comfortable to ride in on the highway, even over long distances. The tire drone doesn't get bad. The cab sound insulation is great. Seats are comfortable. And honestly, I'll put it in the good category. The fuel mileage is pretty good for the size of the truck. It is a 6.4 Hemi. So, fuel mileage wasn't really what I was looking for when I bought it. I know that's a common question, is the fuel mileage. 14 miles to the gallon, kind of on the around town. Highway, I can sometimes get a little higher, but I don't know. I don't drive like an adult, so I figure I paid for all 6.4 liters of it. I might as well use it all. So fuel mileage is better than I was expecting. With gas the prices they are now, though, better would be nice, but that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, overall, I absolutely love the truck. I love the design of it. I haven't found too much that I wish was better or I don't like. I'm going to eventually start buying some more off-road oriented parts and getting kind of moving towards that. But that's about it. Overall, very, very happy with the truck. It's, again, comfortable to ride in. A lot of cabin space. Cabin's really comfortable for long road trips. Both me and my wife love it, and our dogs, so that's cool. The bed's big enough for me to sleep in, which is a big deal. And yeah, those are my tops right there. I absolutely love this truck. So for some of the negatives or some of the problems I've had. So I think the second to last review video I did, I talked about the auto start. When I'd auto start it to warm it up, it not letting it unlock. So I took it to the dealership, and it turns out there is an issue with it. It's not a recall thing, but you can get your computer flashed. So they reprogrammed the computer before I went on that Colorado trip, and it actually seemed to have fixed the problem. I've had the oil change done, and they've done a couple other software updates that were recalls. So I don't know exactly, I can't remember the update number, but that seemed to have fixed it. So now it unlocks easily, and everything seems to be fine. I did notice right after they did it, it seemed to be real sensitive where the key fob is, and it still seems to be that way if I even have it in like an outside pocket sometimes, or in a pack in the cab there. It won't pick it up. Not a big deal. I'm not too worried about that. Another issue that just popped up is I have a backup sensor that's for the backup warning thing, and it's kind of not working. So I took it in, they checked it. They said the sensor was okay, but there's an issue in the wiring harness between the two sensors in kind of the magical world of electronics of cars. So I do have the full warranty, so that's going to get fixed under warranty at some point here. I haven't had time to drop it off because they got to troubleshoot it, and they said they might need it for a couple days, and I just haven't had time to drop it off. I'm also a little hesitant to drop it off just because you never know the gremlins you're going to find when they start wading into the electrics of this truck or any vehicle at this point. So I'm just worried it's going to find more problems. So as right now, I just have the rear sensor shut off, and the truck otherwise functions perfectly fine. Really, those are my biggest complaints for the truck. They're not huge. The wiring harness backup sensor thing isn't even really locked in with this truck. It's just what it is. So I've also had the opportunity to replace the Duratrax on it. I've kept the same size tire. That was mainly because I didn't want to wear any parts prematurely, and I've gotten used to the way it looks. I just didn't feel like upgrading. But I did upgrade to the heavier load range tires because it comes with light truck 8-ply tires. I upgraded to the 11-ply version. That was a little bit by choice, a little bit by necessity. They had the 11 plies in the shop when I went in looking for them, so that was kind of the main reason I went with them. But I was thinking about them ahead of time just because when I air down to like 40-ish PSI for off-road stuff, I'm just a little worried that the size of the truck on the sidewall could cause me some sidewall issues. So that's why I wasn't too bad or too hesitant to go with the 11-ply. We'll take a look at the truck here next and walk around, and we'll talk about some of the stuff I've done and kind of what I like and don't like, what I want to improve for the next year.
So starting up here at the front of the truck, I've had an opportunity to use the winch about a half a dozen times to get myself unstuck. So super happy with that. I do eventually want to replace the winch cable with the Warren aftermarket cable that comes with the reflective stuff in it, just because it's easier to see, because I tend to get stuck at night, or that's normally when I get stuck. I still have the damage there on the front where I was backing up and dropped in and caught a rock and kind of ripped some of the front air down. My Gorilla Tape fix is working, so I haven't done too much with that. Kind of coming down the side. Got a little ding right here where I think I caught the stump end of a tree, but I'm not too sure on that. Probably can't see it. A whole pile of scratches from driving down narrow roads. Nope, my ARE cap. I got the one with the little high bump in it. It gives me a little more room in the back, so I can keep my mountain bikes and all that stuff in here. My little bed system, so I sleep on this side, then I can put my feet and store my bikes in there, so that's been working out great. I keep all my camp stuff and all that stuff. This bed system, probably next year or over the summer. I haven't quite figured out when I'm going to do that, because I want to make it out of the 80/20 aluminum to make it a little bit lighter and a little bit stiffer. And I want to add actual slider tracks in, so it's easier to get things in and out, because right now there's just friction sliders. I have the furniture foot sliders on the bottom of the platform, and it works pretty good. It's a little tight at times, but I definitely want to try to improve that. Kind of recapture some more space and capitalize on some of the space that's lost if I can just build it a little better. The plywood wasn't working. It was never intended to be a solid stay forever kind of thing. It is purely a working model. This is where my dogs hang out. I do intend or want to remove the back seats. It's just every time I think about getting close to it, I end up putting something back there. But I think at some point I'm going to take them out and build a platform, probably level with this, right across, and just make it so I can put a slider in there.
in the driver's seat now. And again, as I said, I haven't done much. We'll kind of go over a few of the things I've done to kind of improve the usability of the inside for this stuff, and yeah, talk about some future stuff. So my big modification if you will, was I added a bullet point mounting systems for my cell phone, and this is where my GoPro mounts. I can spin it around so it looks at me, or I can turn it around so it faces out. So that's really nice. And the last one I added is this is where my Garmin InReach mounts. I don't have it in there right now. I try to keep it in the house, but that's the mounting system that comes with the Maritime package. The InReach is the same regardless. It just comes with that nice little mount that it just snaps into, and I can take it off. It's just stuck on there with 3M tape, and it's all powered from the cigarette lighter. The only thing I kind of wish I'd waited a little bit on this is because this is only a 2-ball head mount, and Bullet Point released for the Rams a 3, so I could have a third one, which would be nice for my wife's cell phone. But otherwise, I'm real happy with it. Power with USB-C, which I just kind of route around everything, and yeah, it's just kind of, again, general stock setup. So there it is, the my Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Again, I bought it to be kind of my overland adventure rig, and I've been doing a pretty good job of getting out there and doing stuff. I've had the opportunity, I was adding up the nights. I think in 2022 I've spent close to 12 nights sleeping in the back here. Not a lot, but a pretty good amount. And I've gotten pretty comfortable with the truck and where it can fit. The biggest downfall of this truck, as I've found off-road, is, boy, it's a full-size pickup. So it is oftentimes here in New England real hard to squeeze it in. So I spend a lot of time doing trail maintenance, cutting out trails, because the Jeep guys come through and cut them trees big enough to fit their Jeep through. And then I got to cut another like 2 foot so I can squeeze through. So, you know, it's a part of having a full-size truck. I wasn't expecting to fit everywhere a Jeep can, but I can also carry more, and I think it looks cooler too. Yeah, that's really a big part of it. It looks really cool. So guys, if you're interested in more reviews, I'm gonna try to keep them up every 10K. So every 10K, I'll tell you about the truck, or if I do some great modifications, I'll video that. Otherwise, it's all gonna be videos of adventures, of sorted things, just the stuff I like to do. So please, guys, subscribe and like it. Comment what you think I should do in the bed. If anyone's worked with that 80/20 aluminum, that also would be a great comment. What do you think? How did it work? Is it worthwhile, or should I just keep working with wood? And yeah, I think I got some more great adventures coming up. I'm planning them all out. I had to take a little hiatus in the middle of all my filming this summer, so sorry about that, but I'm back, and I'll start posting some more videos of different adventures I've done. So thanks again, guys. Please like and subscribe.